सहना ववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। प्रातः स्मरामि हृदि संस्फुरदात्मतत्त्वम् सच्चित् सुखं परमहं सगतिं तुरीयम् यत् स्वप्नजागर सुषुप्तमवेति नित्यम् तद्ब्रह्म निष्कलमहं न च भूतसङ्गः तपोभिक्षीणपापानां शान्तानां वीतरागिनां मुमुक्षोऽहमपेक्षोऽयम् आत्मबोधो विधीयते। Hari Om everybody. Today's topic, the three temperaments. So last time when we were doing Pratasmarami, we explained Sat Chit Sukham Paramaham Sagatim Turim, the whole thing. It starts by saying you are the supreme reality. This is the scriptures. This is my original identity, that I am the supreme reality. When I don't understand that I am the supreme reality, then I assume a makeover, a false impression, a false personality of mine, which starts. So as soon as I don't understand my real nature, a false personality is assumed, and that false personality is given all these different qualities. Why these qualities are given is at least understand that we have a false personality, and wading through these false personality and these qualities, you move on to a higher realm. So with the help of these qualities, the definitions of these qualities, you move on to a higher realm of life. So the values what they have given is, as soon as I don't know I am the one reality, the supreme reality, as soon as this wave does not understand that it doesn't have an independent existence other than the ocean. In fact, I am nothing but the ocean. Since I don't understand that I am an ocean, I have misunderstood myself to the identity of the wave, identity of this individual. So a jiva is born. There is no relationship between Atma and Jiva. The matter and the spirit don't have any relationship, because the spirit is the all-pervading reality. It is infinite knowledge, Satchit Ananda. And in this infinite knowledge, it's impossible for any material thing to come in other than itself. So this Jiva is defined so that you understand who you are and then move onwards from that. So the Jiva, they say, is when you understand you are Paramatma, the world is not created and everything is samam, everything is perfect, everything is universal in approach. There are no differences. When I don't understand that, then the theory is that there is a halchal, there is a moment in this equilibrium. And the moment the disturbance created in this equilibrium causes the three gunas to rise, the three temperaments to rise. So the three temperaments are sattva, rajas, and tamas. I'm saying this again to everybody. Sattva, rajas, and tamas, and all these concepts are for introverted studies and not to be pointed out in the world saying you are such a such category. Okay. So all these categories are to be understood that this is me at present. This particular guna is coming and I need to exhibit these gunas more. I need to control these gunas more. So these are the two aspects. Therefore, the gunas are created. It is only for individual examination. It is not to pass judgment on what the world and other people around you are doing. This is ye patthar mein likh lo. This is like writing on stone. There is nothing else except you at present. So the focus of studies is only you. When we study, we are made up of these three qualities: sattva, rajas, and tamas. We'll start with what we know. We know the goal, the higher aim is sattva. So we are made up of sattva, rajas, and tamas. And Paramatma, the Supreme Self, is beyond these gunas. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, it is referred to as guna ati, beyond the gunas. So first of all, understand we have some gunas. Sattva guna is a guna which is very, very peaceful internally, which is very charming, which is very charitably disposed. All this is within. It need not necessarily manifest outside. Okay. So this is not necessary. It may manifest, but it is not necessary to manifest outside. Sattvic person is a person. Sattvic person means one whose sattva content is more than rajas and tamas. I'll explain this to you. So sattvic person is person who's calm, who's collected, who knows where and how to live his life, his or her life, and move on accordingly, according to their own pre-thought programs. This is what I want to do in life, and they stick to that program. Come what may, they don't deviate from that. The fallout of such a person is when a sattvic person functions in the world, since the mind is more calmer and collected, their intellect is functioning more. So they are always mentally very strong and they exactly know what they are going to do. So the spillover is because of their calm and collective nature, it is always beneficial to the world at large. This is a sattvic guna. Lot of people focus on sattva. If the sattva becomes more, then you basically gather a lot of information. You transform yourself and slowly, slowly you educate the world in any way. You can educate the world by speaking to everybody like Ramatirtha or by not speaking at all like Maharishi. You can educate anyway. So, but through each and every pore of their physicality, personality, they educate, right? So this is sattva guna. Therefore, when sattva is more, the person is more calmer. Just a quality. Second quality is rajas. Rajas is a quality which is activity. Sattva person also acts. A rajasic person also acts. The difference is sattva person acts and people don't realize that the person is acting because the person is not hurrying and worrying around. This is the difference. The person may be moving around, a sattvic person may be moving around 24/7, but they will look as if they are just gliding. Like we always say, those who play tennis, we say that when you see a player, there are some people who are putting so much effort to play and win. And there are some people, when you look them at the tennis court, you just feel that the person is gliding. There is no effort. Like they used to say about Muhammad Ali. He floats like a butterfly and stings like a bee. So when he used to be there, hardly anybody would notice that he's moving and he's become the best boxer in the world. This is sattva. Rajas is activity and constant understanding that I am acting. So the mind is, oh my God, I have to do this. Oh my God, I have to constantly running. And because of this running of the mind, a person gets more tired. People think they are tired when they are physically out of steam. Actually, it is not the case. People get tired when mentally they think I have done all this. And that's why the mental running is what makes people tired. A Rajasic mind is this. It keeps on running, hurrying and worrying about everything. It's like an excited mouse running everywhere. You can't keep that mouse in one place and say stay. It will keep on running. Similarly, the mind of such a person is in constant motion. It is never at rest. This is Rajasic. So a Rajasic personality will live probably 60, 70, 80, 90 years, running around, working and doing everything. But at the end of the life, the whole life seems to be a big waste. An example of a great Maharaj used to be given down south, where he used to roll a big stone from one end of the mountain, a boulder. He used to be on top of it and then push the stone down the other end from the other side. And then he will clap loudly. He was considered a mad person. And then next day, he will pick up that same stone, roll it over from the other side and throw it this side and clap. So somebody asked him, some of the people, the whole village used to know that they are mad people. The fellow is a mad person, an old man. So two great sannyasis came to that village. And when these two great sannyasis came, all these people flocked and said, Maharaj, 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 please come to my house. I give you a darshan and all those things. And suddenly these two Maharaj heard some clapping, So he said, what is this? Oh, this is just an old man. He's clapping. This is an old man. Narayan Pran, they used to call him, old man. And they looked at that old man and both of them went to that old man and touched his feet. The villagers did not even know. Touched the feet and said, Maharaj, we have been looking out for you. Where are you? He just ran off. So the villagers said, he's a mad person. These two sannyasis said, he's a teacher. He's not a mad person. He's trying in every action he does and gives some message. So all the villagers sat together and asked this madman, what is the message? And the message he says is, whole life I keep on collecting, doing hard work, and reach at the pinnacle of my life. And then what happens? Everything goes away. Whatever I have collected and whatever I have been dependent on for this life, it disappears. People run throughout that whole life completely Rajasic by nature. In Jonathan Livingston Seagull, The Story of a Seagull by Richard Bach, the story of the seagull is their whole life is based on only two factors. When the fishes are thrown to them, the waste fishes by the fishermen on the wharf, and quibbling and fighting over who gets the first bite. Whole life of a seagull is this. And Jonathan, a seagull, is sitting in one corner and is saying, is this what life is all about? Is my life only to be fighting and quibbling over things which need not have any impact in my life hereafter? Just here, temporariness. This is Rajas, but they'll keep on running. But we have to do this, no? We have to do this. So you have to just tell the Rajasic person, yes. But we are supposed to get agitated. But we are supposed to do this. What do? You can't say. So that is the Rajasic mind. Don't go to that person and say, listen, you are very Rajasic, Don't do that. This is to understand the same Rajas can come in you. When you are working, doing something, suddenly the mind gets agitated and runs around. This is where your intellect, buddhi, has to come in and say that, listen, why are you going there? Is it going to help you in any way? These kind of thoughts, what you are entertaining now, is it going to make you a better person? Simple, this one logic. If It is not going to make me a better person mentally, physically, and intellectually. Why am I harboring those negative thoughts? That thought will get you out of it. But the Rajasic person will not understand. They'll keep on running. Okay. Tamasic person are a champion. These guys are really good. They are not bothered about anything. Really, they are not bothered about anything. They are not bothered about physical activities. They are not bothered about running. What is the way of running? What is the why? Why should we walk? Why is just that why continuously coming? They are not bothered about intellectually gathering and garnering thoughts to enhance my own life. They are just like a pile of stone, like a vegetable. They are there because they are there. When the breath goes away, they will die. It's as simple as that. Zero impact on the society, zero impact on their own evolution. This is tamas. Tamasic person also acts. Sattvic person acts without thinking about the results. Rajasic person acts only focusing on the results. Tamasic person acts without any consequence of the result. Whether it is hurting somebody or killing somebody, they are not bothered. The greatest of politicians and kingmakers and kings have this nature of tamas. A tamas is a person where I say it really doesn't matter whether the whole generation dies. Hitler was one such. I want a perfect society, and the perfect society has to be blue blood. With this kind of hair, this kind of teeth, this kind. If it is not there, I kill. Khatam. Simple. They're not bothered about it. And they'll keep on weaning away all people in the name of doing good to the society. Nero was a Roman emperor. He loved to eat. He loved to eat to a level that every half an hour, the cook has to make something to him. And he will eat that. And after eating, he will drink a medicine. He will vomit the whole thing. And then after half hour, eat something new. Because taste, he wanted something new every time. Such a person thought of a music, a sad tune. And the sad tune he played, and he asked his ministers, how is it? And everybody, naturally, nobody says no to a person of power, otherwise your head will be chopped off. So they said, hey, it's very beautiful. My God, how did you get this? He forgot about it. After a month, he wanted to rekindle that, rethink about that tune, but he was not getting it. Then he asked the minister, do you remember the tune which I played? That was a very sad tune. He said, no, we remember, but it was very good. I remember it was very good, but I don't know what it is. Then Nero said, but it was a sad tune and I was feeling sad for something. So I have to get that sad emotion within me. So what he did, he stood in the balcony and he gave news or message to his soldiers to burn the city of Rome. The city of Rome was burnt. All the children were running around. All the ladies and men were running around. The houses burned. And in that cry and chaos, Nero took his fiddle and he started thinking about the tune. And lo and behold, the tune came. And he was so happy that he got the tune. And the quotation is, Nero fiddled while Rome burnt. This is a tamasic person. Not bothered about anything. Not bothered about anything. It doesn't matter who gets what. People get destroyed. I want my food, my drink. Lot of people belong to that category. I want my food, my drink. That's it. So this is a tamasic. Now, all of us, as far as actions are concerned, just one thing to be clear. A sattvic person understands what is right and what is wrong. Since he understands perfectly what is right and what is wrong, he follows what is righteous and he gives up what is wrong. Okay, very clear about it. A Rajasic person misunderstands right as wrong, wrong as right. So when the Rajasic person stops the running around of the mind and relaxes and tries to study a little bit about his own personality, then with that knowledge which he is inculcating, he can understand what is right as right and wrong as wrong. Because of the misunderstanding, he is getting agitated, but the scope is there for him to change. Tamasic person misunderstands right as wrong, wrong as right, and sticks pig-headedly to it. They are so convinced in their wrong ways that if you try explaining anything good to them, they will convince you how good is wrong. I went to one of the social occasions. In those social occasions, I usually don't go, but when we went there, people asked me, it was in uniform, so people asked me, how do you live? Basically, what is your routine? So this is a routine. Morning we get up, go for a walk or a jog. We have a healthy breakfast. We have a study session. And then the whole day starts, karma. And by 10:30, we are off to bed. We eat at the right time, 1 o'clock. We have the breakfast at 8:39. Dinner, we have it at around 8:39. So that's it. And we go back to bed. The rest of the day, we are working, taking classes. So all the people were surrounding me, naturally listening to this. Suddenly one guy from the other side, because he wants to be the center of attraction, he says, I am also living by discipline. Same discipline. All his friends looked up and said, really? What is the discipline? He said, every day morning, 12 o'clock, I get up. I have my lunch at 6 o'clock. Then after that, I go for work. Then night, I come at around 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock ke baad, I take bath, I have my tea, coffee or whatever. Then punctually, by 2 o'clock, I have my dinner. Night 2 o'clock. Huh? Night 2 o'clock, I'll have my dinner. After that, I'll watch a little bit of TV or something, sleep, then get up at 12 o'clock. Regularly, I've been doing this. This is tamas. They live it and they're so proud of this life that they will see to it that others get impressed by this. Therefore, a tamasic person pig-headedly understands right as wrong and sticks to it. Duryodhana was Janami dharmam na chami pravritti, Janami adharmam na chami nivritti. I know what is dharma, what is right, but I can't accept it. I know what is wrong, unrighteous, but I can't leave it. This is tamas. Why? Because they are getting some pleasure from there. In all of us, sattva, rajas, and tamas exist. In all of us. Sometimes procrastination is there. The body pain is there. I don't want to do this, don't want to do this, this is there. This is tamas. That tamas should be pushed into a little bit of rajasic quality, moving around. So by force, you have to move your body, because if you don't move your body, it will stagnate. It will putrefy. So to even remain alive, you have to move the body. When you are moving the body and you are agitated, then the next step comes. There is a solution. How are people functioning in the world 24/7? Teacher Swamiji is 93. 24/7 person is functioning in the world and yet maintaining sanity, maintaining peace and calmness. So when one person of that age for all the relationships can do it, contacting the world, maintaining the peace and quiet, why can't we? So this rajasic person with a little bit of knowledge tries to move towards sattva. So the growth is from tamas, you move on to rajas. From rajas, you move on to sattva. Eventually, you move beyond sattva. Beyond sattva is, I don't want to do good to the world. I don't want to do bad to the world. Because when I do bad to the world, I will reap bad karmas. When I do good to the world, I will reap good karmas. Still, I will be tied to the world. There were 3 robbers, and they were discussing. They were actually discussing some of the robberies. Not 3, actually, more than 3. Around 10, 15 robbers were there. And they were discussing how to rob people. So once one sect of the robbers said, we should earn our loot. So we have to go to a particular house where we have to rob, beat the person just about to die, that kind of beating, and then rob everything and go, because we have to earn our loot. The second people said, listen, we should not do that. We can beat a person, but not so senseless. And then when he can't hit you back anymore, when he can't fight, we'll rob and take away all the materials. This is the second group. Third group says, listen, we should not beat and anything. We can just tie up the person and then take everything and leave. First one, near killing and robbing, tamas. Second, leaving them as it is in between with a little bit of beating and then robbing is rajas. No hitting, but just tying the person and robbing is sattva. But all the 3 decide one thing is common, we should rob. So all the 3, sattva, rajas and tamas, still ties you to the world. Eventually, you need to move to a level where you are beyond these 3 gunas, gunatita. Everything should be beyond what is merit and what is demerit. Rathyachar, in Bhajagovindam there is a shloka. Rathyachar pata virachita kantha punya apunya vivarjita pantha. I am going to take a route which is neither doing good in the society, neither doing bad in the society. What is this route? Just do what you are supposed to do. If sattva guna is more, rajas is less, tamas is less to nothing, literally very less, then you become a Brahmin. A Brahmin person is one who learns and retains the knowledge. A Brahmin's job is to teach what is dharma and adharma, what is right, what is wrong to the general public. A Brahmin is supposed to teach the Kshatriyas. So when the rajas quality is more, sattva is a little less, and tamas increases, you are a Kshatriya. Kshatriya means action. When the rajas quality is more and tamas becomes more, tamas and rajas become equal, and sattva becomes very less, it is Vaishya, a businessman. What will I get? What will I get? This thought will be there. Anything, the thought will be, what am I getting? What am I constantly? Vaishya. And when none of these, only tamas grows, there is literally no intelligence, no intellect, no information, then you are a Shudra. Shudra means a person who functions literally on daily wages. Shudra is not a person with a menial job. I told you, Krishna in one of the episodes of Mahayagya used to take care of chappals. And everybody would not go inside the hall because of the way he beautifully arranged the chappals. Activity per se is not Shudra. It is the mentality of the person that makes the person Shudra. So there are a lot of great politicians, great businessmen, great teachers also who think only from the point of view of what am I going to get today, daily wage. If that is the case, then the person is a Shudra. Throughout, a Brahmin is supposed to teach the Kshatriya, stop fighting with your near and dear ones. I know you have strength. I know you have those qualities. Use those qualities to fight the wrong things that are happening in the society. Use the same Kshatriya guna, rajas, towards a higher purpose in life. You fight for your country. You fight for your community. You fight for something higher, but not for yourself. This a Brahmin is supposed to teach the Kshatriya. A Brahmin is supposed to teach the Vaishya not how to earn money, because the Vaishya knows how to earn money, the biggest businessman, how to spend the money. If you have money to spare, why don't you donate? Do charity. X amount of orphanages, X amount of old age homes. There are so many things to be done if you have money. Rather than that, like a snake, you are sitting and ultimately you will die. What's the use of all that? Whatever you have earned, what is the use of that? So spend it wisely. And a Brahmin teaches, educates by person or by knowledge, even the Shudra to come up. Remember, the whole society is classified into all these 4 categories. Brahmins are supposed to guide. A Brahmin is a person who understands Brahman. Brahman who's understood and he's vichara, he's thinking only of the higher concept of life, is a Brahmin. So anybody who entertains the highest thought, whether they are born in any category, if they are born in a Rajasic category, a Kshatriya category, or a Vaishya category, or a Shudra category, is a Brahmin. Therefore, a Neech Jat, so-called, when we use Neech Jat, is a low caste like a Kabir or a Rahidas, who talk great dohas, thinking only of the higher, are the highest class of Brahmins, rather than some of the Brahmins who wear the thread, who do everything, but only think from the point of view of how can I take advantage of the society? How can I build my own assets? So a Brahmin nowadays, his assets, his business, his work, his bank balance keeps on increasing. So he is not a Brahmin. That person is a Vaishya, is a businessman, though may be clothed as a Brahmin. So in this location, you understand you are a Brahmin or a Kshatriya or a Vaishya or a Shudra, and all the 4 can be worked for the higher. Focus is only that. When you understand all these 3 gunas functioning properly, then you understand, acha, throughout the day, night becomes tamas, all the useless activities, so that needs to be curtailed. Morning becomes more productive, positive thinking. Whenever you get up in the morning, you'll never think about indulgence. You'll think about the good things in life. So any type of thought which keeps you hooked to the higher. So always walk alone, always run alone. Why? Because when you're walking alone, your thoughts are at the higher. It will not be base. When you're talking to somebody, phone and this, it's always a baser talk. So avoid all that as much as possible. WhatsApp, just delete whatever it is. You have to read the whole thing, or what people are saying about you or anybody. Just delete, but. Keep on moving. Use your time well. And eventually, when you understand that these 3 gunas are functioning in you, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, in everywhere, don't point out fingers outside. You understand that this is my Sattvic quality. It needs to be enhanced. This is my Rajasic quality of thinking and getting tensed up. It needs to be curtailed. And this is my Tamasic quality of procrastination. And sometimes I just do because I want to do. I'm not bothered about what other people are going through it. My actions, repercussions, I need to just stop that. So slowly Tamas goes down, Rajas moves up, and you reach the state of Sattva, eternal calm, eternal peace. Eventually, even that state of Sattva is transcended and you reach the state of trans Sattva. How do you go about it? Very easy. You have a body, mind, and intellect. These 3 equipments are given to you. With the body, you do karma yoga. With the mind, you do bhakti yoga. With the intellect, you do jnana yoga. What is karma and what are its modifications? We'll see it in the next class. Thank you very much. Oh.